or something. So you in the house, and I had just been asked to play some Hendrix by a patron in there. So we were doing like Hey Joe, the jazz funk version of that. So I was in the dig it mode, and I said, I think your lady would like you to marry her. Do you dig that vibe? You know, she's digging your vibe, something like that. And he's like, I dig the vibe, man. It's cool, bro.
Yeah.
Something like that. And next thing I know, the whole place is erupting. You know.
Wow, and he said yes?
He did, yeah. It was beautiful.
Excellent.
He said yes, and she jumped up and down, and then of course, Dave and I went over and serenaded them. We played some music, and we brought our saxophone and guitar over there, and just went and did our thing, and they definitely were having a good time.
Well, that's fabulous. You are going to go to Nashville after the 24th when you play.
Yeah, the 24th is our send-off party for Nashville. We leave on.
You're up for an award, are you not?
Well,
because you won one last year.
I did. Last year I won Jazz Artist of the Year for an independent artist. This year they're doing the voting differently. They're not having fan voting.
Okay.
They're just having a panel pick,
gotcha.
So that it's not a popularity contest. I believe I probably will win. I don't know. You know, I won last year, which is enough.
That was nice.
I was happy to nominate other people this year, but then when there was no fan voting, I thought, well, that was last year was incredible because there were actually 4 awards. There was Jazz Artist of the Year, then there was Best Gospel Jazz CD for a Newsom Award, then I was in Guitar Player magazine as one of the hottest new guitarists for June, and then I signed to Creative Soul. So this year it's like, I have a lot to do to top that.
God's on your side.
He very much is, and it has to do with surrendering.
Yes.
That's been the big thing for me, has been surrendering to His will and what He wants, and understanding that His plan will work, and then of course getting up and doing that daily thing.
Yeah. You are really doing it. I mean, you're not just talking about it. You are making it work. You're being very disciplined about it.
Now, do you remember when I called you? You may not remember this, but I'll tell this since we're telling dirt.
Go ahead.
You were the DJ on WSMJ, and I was frustrated that local musicians weren't getting played. And I called you, and you said, honey, or something like this, I wanted to be in radio, and I beat the street for 20 years, and then I was in radio.
That was you?
And you need to beat the street or something. And I was like, okay. So I started to beat the street. And the very first person I found and emailed was a radio promotions guy, Adam Leibovitz. And I sent him my CD, and he called back and went, this is pretty good stuff. You need to keep going on with this. And so I've been beating the street ever since then. I was probably a little rude when I called you, but I was like, they should just play me because I'm Drew. And you're going, yeah, right.
Well, we've come a long way since then, Drew Davidson.
Drew's come a long way, too. Maybe the listeners, you were talking about the metamorphosis. Drew's lost 55 pounds. So a lot of people don't recognize me in the club. They're looking for my long hair and my bigger self. So I'm feeling very energetic.
And just give us a little taste, because I know we've got a couple minutes left, and maybe we can do a little tune. But tell us how you lost that weight.
A big thing I did was the challenge from my producer, and then my commitment to God that the body is a temple, and I needed to take care of it. I knew it wasn't about necessarily how I looked to do this type of music, but I needed to lose that weight and make that change, and just the daily, every day of not drinking a lot of soda and watching what I was eating, and just being,
big deal.
I was a bad boy. My parents cook great. I mean, my mom is an incredible cook, so it was easy to have third dinner, second breakfast, But then I get in the habit, as so many of us do, when we drive, we feel like we need a soda or something while we drive, or some people smoke. I mean, I don't, but the brain is 70% water, and the body is over 80% water. And it's huge. I sing better now. I scat better. The energy levels are better. Yep. And another thing, too, is I've come to realize is you can't sell a story you don't believe in. So, if you go to a club and your hair is long and your beard is gray and you're overweight and you tell them you play jazz and you're amazing, they'll, speed of the leader, speed of the team. They're going to look at you and go, well, this is not, here I am quoting my manager, she's always into that. So once I began to lose weight and things began to come together, the Lord provided the band. The players came around and went, man, we want to play with Drew. There's something about what he's doing that is different.
Because he's got this positive energy going on.
So, and really, it comes back to one line, which is my line for the rest of my life. Humility is accepting the role God gave you. If we choose to do something different than what the Lord wants us to do, we basically say we know better than Him. Since I know that He's called me to do this thing called jazz, and it involves smooth jazz, then the real humility is wearing that suit and tie, losing that weight, shaving, getting slick, you're getting that certain look, and practicing that guitar and going out there and giving it my all every time that I play, so that He can delight in what I'm doing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's at a church service. On Sundays I play every Sunday morning and that kind of thing. So.
Well, that's okay. We got a couple minutes. Can you do a little short song for us? Or no?
I'll do a little blues number.
Oh,
just
that's
because
awesome.
just because I enjoy playing blues.
91.1 local WHFC. Drew Davidson on guitar. That's awesome. Drew Davidson, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I thought I'd give it the Baltimore ending.
Hey, hon, it sounded great to me. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's see. February 24th at Club 347, Drew is going to have his little temporary swan song before he goes off to Nashville, so we want to send him off in a mighty way. So make sure you are there. We'll see your face in the place. Excellent.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And I have prizes and giveaways. So.
Will you?
Oh, I always do.
Okay.
I always have special surprises.
Well, if you bring some, I'll bring some.
Very cool.
Okay, very cool. All right, thank you so much. And up next is a little more continuation of jazz on 91.1 WHFC. Have a great week. You deserve one.